The meditation chamber exploded with sound as Krennak, the massive ursoid with thick russet fur bristling, lunged across the circle. His retractable claws extended with a metallic snict, slashing through the air toward Thessik, the bird-like avilorn, whose iridescent blue-green feathers ruffled in alarm. She launched herself backward, wings spreading wide, taloned feet scraping the cushioned floor as she screeched a battle cry. Diana, the human diplomat, sat perfectly still on her mat, watching the 9-foot bare alien and the feathered warrior scout collide mid-air with a crash that shook the bioluminescent ceiling panels. Amber light flickered across the obsidian walls. "You dare question my clan's honor!" Krennak roared, his small black eyes blazing. Fur shed in clumps across the meditation mats. "Your clan ambushed our scouts!" Thessik shrieked, her sharp curved beak snapping inches from his face. She twisted mid-air, talons raking across his shoulder. Dark blood matted his russet fur. Vorrn, the chitross coordinator with bronze chitinous armor plating, scrambled backward on his forearms, compound eyes reflecting chaos in 1,000 fractured images. His mandibles clicked frantically. "Stop! The council rules!" Krennak's massive paw swung sideways, catching Vorrn in the thorax and sending the insectoid crashing into the wall. His bronze plating cracked. 2 of his forearms hung limp. Ambassador Quell, the serpentine Levathi mediator with purple-blue scales and 3 vertical golden eyes, floated into the chamber. His scaled body coiled in agitation, hood flaring wide. "Cease immediately! I am activating containment!" Nobody stopped fighting. Diana stood up. She didn't walk toward the brawling aliens. She didn't shout. She didn't draw a weapon. She walked to the chamber's entrance, placed her hand on the door panel, and the sliding doors sealed shut with a heavy clunk. The soft, amber, bioluminescent light dimmed. Then she walked to the environmental controls embedded in the obsidian wall and pressed 3 buttons in sequence. The temperature in the meditation chamber began to rise, fast. Krennak had Thessik pinned against the floor, claws at her throat when he paused. His russet fur began to darken with sweat. "What? Is it getting hot?" Thessik wheezed, her iridescent feathers starting to droop. Diana sat back down on her mat, crossing her legs calmly. The temperature continued climbing. 15 degrees, 20 degrees. The bioluminescent panels flickered faster as heat built in the sealed chamber. "Human!" Quell's serpentine body writhed, his purple-blue scales beginning to dry out, his 3 golden eyes fixed on Diana. "What are you doing?" "Sitting," Diana said pleasantly. "Meditating." Krennak released Thessik, stumbling backward. His thick fur was designed for cold mountain climates, built to insulate against freezing temperatures. Now that same evolutionary advantage trapped heat against his massive frame like a furnace. He gasped, black eyes going wide. "Open the door!" "Why would I do that?" Diana asked, perfectly still. A single bead of sweat rolled down her temple. "We're here for mandatory meditation." The temperature hit 30 degrees above baseline. 40. Thessik's wings dragged on the floor, too heavy to lift. Her breathing came in short, sharp gasps through her curved beak. Avilorn physiology needed constant airflow through hollow bones. The thick, hot air was suffocating. "Please!" Vorrn collapsed entirely. His bronze armor plating couldn't regulate temperature. His compound eyes began to film over. 2 of his forearms twitched uselessly. "Shutting! Down! Diana!" Quell's hood flared desperately, but his serpentine movements were sluggish. Levathi relied on ambient temperature to function. His 3 vertical eyes dimmed. "You're killing us!" Diana checked her fingernails casually. Humans sweated. That was their evolutionary jackpot. persistence hunters who could cool their bodies through evaporation, who could operate in temperature ranges that left other species crippled. The chamber was uncomfortable for her, sure, but she could sit here for hours while her alien colleagues literally cooked. "Here's the thing about humans," Diana said conversationally as Krennak dropped to all fours, panting. His claws retracted involuntarily. "We don't have fur, or feathers, or scales, or chitin. We don't have natural armor, or venom, or wings. Your cubs thought that made us weak." The temperature climbed past 50 degrees. "But you know what we do have?" Diana continued, still sitting perfectly cross-legged, while Krennak collapsed onto his side, tongue lolling. "We have spite and patience, and the ability to make everyone equally miserable until someone sees reason." Thessik tried to speak, but only managed a weak chirp. Her feathers were completely flat against her body. "So, here's my proposal," Diana said. "You three can continue your ancient grudge match and die of heatstroke. Or you can agree to stop trying to murder each other for 5 minutes while I explain why your territorial dispute is based on a navigation error from 93 years ago." Silence, except for desperate gasping. "I can't hear you," Diana said. "Agreed," Krennak wheezed. The massive ursoid warrior looked like a dying carpet. "Agreed," Thessik chirped weakly. Vorrn's mandibles clicked once. Quell's hood had flattened completely. "The Levathi concurs." Diana stood, walked to the environmental controls, and reset the temperature. Cool air flooded through the vents. She opened the door. Red emergency lighting from the corridor spilled in. Krennak didn't move from the floor. His russet fur was soaked through, matted flat. His small black eyes tracked Diana with what might have been respect or terror. Thessik managed to lift one wing slightly. Her iridescent blue-green feathers were disheveled. "You didn't even touch us," she croaked. "Touching you would have been inefficient," Diana said. She pulled out a datapad and projected a holographic star map into the center of the chamber. The amber lighting returned to normal, casting the map in sharp relief. Now, 93 years ago, a chitross hive ship logged these coordinates as the location of first contact with ursoid territory. Vorrn's compound eyes slowly focused on the map. His mandibles clicked weakly. But the chitross hive ship was using outdated celestial navigation protocols, Diana continued, zooming in on a cluster of stars. The avilorn scouts weren't ambushing anyone. They were conducting standard reconnaissance in what they believed, correctly by modern mapping standards, to be neutral space. Krennak's small black eyes widened. He tried to push himself up but couldn't. "That can't be. It gets better," Diana said, swiping through data screens. The ursoid clan responded to what they thought was a treaty violation, which triggered avilorn defensive protocols, which the chitross interpreted as an act of war, which brought in the Levathi as mediators. And now we're here, 93 years later, with 3 species ready to tear each other apart over a math error. Thessik's curved beak opened and closed silently. "The original chitross navigator?" Diana pulled up a personnel file. "Deceased 86 years ago. Natural causes. Left a personal log admitting the navigation error, but never filed an official correction because filing it would require admitting fault to the hive queen, and that would result in reassignment to waste processing duty." Vorrn's mandibles stopped clicking. His bronze armor plating seemed to darken. "So one chitross coordinator valued his career over correcting a mistake," Diana said, closing the holographic file. "And 93 years of bloodshed followed. 83 battles, 4,216 casualties, entire generations raised on hate." The meditation chamber fell silent except for heavy breathing. Diana walked slowly around the circle. Your cubs thought humans were weak because we don't have claws, or wings, or armor. You know what we do have. We have the ability to look at a situation and ask the one question nobody else seems capable of asking. What question? Quell managed, his serpentine body coiling. His 3 golden eyes tracked her. Is everyone involved an idiot? Diana said flatly, and in this case, the answer is yes. Krennak made a sound that might have been a growl or a laugh. Here's what happens now, Diana said, stopping in the center. You 3 are going to get up and walk with me to the central observation deck. There, you will stand in front of your respective delegations and explain that your entire conflict is based on a clerical error. My clan will never, Krennak started. Your clan will accept it, Diana interrupted, because the alternative is I release this information to every news network in the Galactic Council. Instead of being remembered as mighty warriors, you'll be remembered as the idiots who couldn't read a star chart for 93 years. Thessik's feathers ruffled weakly. That's blackmail. That's diplomacy, Diana corrected. Blackmail would be if I threatened to turn the heat back on. Everyone flinched. Now can everyone stand? Diana asked. Krennak hauled himself to his feet with visible effort. His massive frame swayed. Thessik extended her wings for balance, managing to stand on her taloned feet. Vorrn's 4 arms worked in coordination until the insectoid was upright. Quell simply floated higher, his serpentine body undulating with more strength. Diana opened the door fully. Follow me. Try not to kill each other in the hallway. The central observation deck was massive, with windows overlooking the star field beyond. Holographic tactical displays floated in the center. The tiered seating platforms were filled with representatives from dozens of species, all turning to stare as Diana entered with the 4 council members behind her. The cool, blue atmospheric lighting made everyone's shocked expressions crystal clear. Attention, Diana announced. The territorial dispute between the ursoid clans, avilorn scouts and chitross hive coordinators has been resolved. The entire 93-year conflict was based on a navigation error that one deceased coordinator chose not to correct. Murmurs rippled through the assembled representatives. Diana pulled up the holographic evidence on the central displays. Star charts, personnel logs, the original navigator's confession, everything laid out in undeniable detail. 4,216 beings died because nobody bothered to double-check their math, and everyone was too proud to ask if maybe they were wrong. The murmurs grew louder. Krennak's small black eyes darted around, watching his clan's elders react with shock and shame. Effective immediately, all hostilities cease, Diana said. Any species that attempts to continue this conflict will be doing so with full knowledge that they're fighting over literally nothing, and I will personally ensure every citizen in the galaxy knows it. She turned to face the 4 directly. You will now address your delegations and confirm everything I just said. Krennak stepped forward first. The massive ursoid, still soaked with sweat, faced his clan's representatives. The human speaks truth. We have been fighting shadows. Our honor was never threatened. We were simply wrong. The admission visibly cost him. Thessik followed. The avilorn scouts acted with honor throughout, but belief does not create truth. We were deceived by incomplete data. Vorrn clicked his mandibles, his 4 arms spreading in submission. The chitross hive acknowledges failure. Our coordinator's deception has brought shame. We will make amends. Quell's 3 golden eyes gleamed. The Levathi Council recognizes human Diana's assessment as accurate and binding. Diana nodded. Once. Good. Now let the actual diplomats clean up this mess. She walked toward the exit. As she reached the door, she paused and looked back. Oh, and for the record, your cubs were half right. Humans are weak. We can't win most fights with strength alone. But we're very good at making sure nobody wins until everyone agrees to stop being stupid. The door slid shut behind her. In the corridor, Diana pulled out her data pad and sent a message to Earth's diplomatic corps. Territorial dispute resolved. Method, thermal regulation, and public humiliation. Recommend updating protocols to include basic math verification. Also, these aliens really need air conditioning. She paused, then added, The cubs learned an important lesson today. Humans don't need to be strong when we can just wait for everyone else to collapse.